What's happening, guys? It's Jeremy Blanton, and today we're going to discuss 5 things that you need to know when moving to Myrtle Beach. These are things that you want to pay attention to make sure you're going to be able to have your move to the Myrtle Beach area go smooth and easy. These are things that when I moved from Pennsylvania down here, well, I didn't know them at first, and if I had someone who just shared these simple things with me up front, it would have made my life that much easier. So without further ado, let's get into this. And the first thing that I want to share is that Myrtle Beach, it's a tourist town. It's a place where people come on vacation most of the year. When I first moved to the area, Myrtle Beach was a tourist season that basically lasted during the summer months. It then started to grow a little bit more and became from spring break through the summer. Then it became spring break through school going back in. Then it became spring break through the fall. And honestly, guys, nowadays, there's so many things to do here in the area that activities are going on year round throughout the Myrtle Beach area. So what that means is that you're going to run into tourists as you're going around town. So what do you need to do? First, when you're driving, pay extra close attention. And heaven forbid, please don't ever text and drive. What you need to do is you need to take time to pay attention to the road, because there's so many tourists in town that are going to pull that what we call a tourist lefty. That means we're in the right lane, we're driving along, and all of a sudden there's the Outback, and everybody quick across 3 lanes of traffic, make the U-turn to get into the Outback parking lot. And if you're not paying attention, they're going to cut you off, swerve in front of you, and it's going to be a bad day at the end of the day. So please take time when you're traveling to pay attention and give yourself a couple extra minutes. Also, just know if you're going to some of the popular tourist things in town that you're going to run into more and more traffic, more and more time, especially on days that might be a holiday. Maybe Labor Day you want to go somewhere, just know you might have an extra 20 to 30 minutes wait because there's more people in town. 4th of July, just expect to spend it home. Because if you go out to any of the local restaurants in the area, especially the big tourism ones, you're gonna wait 2 to 3 hours. The service is gonna be subpar because the servers, well, they wanna be able to enjoy the 4th of July, and instead they're stuck working, waiting tables, doing those things, and so you're not gonna get the greatest service all around. So take all of those things into consideration whenever you're going out and about town. You're gonna want to learn where the local hotspots are, where you can go, where the restaurants are owned by locals, run by locals, and they care for the locals. I've done some videos in the past. In fact, I'll link to one right here where it talks about local hotspots to eat, and these are some of the best places that we like to go eat on a regular basis. We're not going to the crab buffets, waiting 3 hours to eat cold crab legs that have been sitting there for 25 to 35 minutes with no heat on them. Trust me, we spend time at the local spots, and that's what you want to do too. The second thing on our list that you're going to realize real quick is that you're not going to find real true locals here in Myrtle Beach. Almost everyone that you run into is from another city. In fact, my guess is that you're going to have a better chance finding people from your local town, wherever you're moving from, here in Myrtle Beach than you are to find the true native. Why is that? So many people are moving to Myrtle Beach each and every year. We're the #1 destination for people moving to the area across the country the last few years. A lot of people are coming from other states. We have a lot of people that are moving here from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, all across the Northeast. Why are those people moving here? They're tired of cold. They're tired of snow. You might be watching this video right now and saying, I'm tired of all that stuff and I want to move to the area. Yeah, you're not alone. Thousands of people each and every year are saying the same things and have those same thoughts, and they're moving here on a regular basis. Because of that, there's not a lot of local people here to the area. So you're gonna have an easy time making connections to people that are friends, people that are from the same area where you grew up. I grew up in Reading, Pennsylvania. It's about an hour outside of Philadelphia, hence why I have over here on my shelf the Eagles. I'm a huge Philadelphia sports fan. Why does that matter? Well, it's easy for me to find other Philadelphia sports fans. In fact, right now where I live, my neighbor next door, Lenny, shout out Lenny, how are you? He is a huge Eagles fan as well. They grew up right outside of Philly, and so it was easy for us to find a fun connection and talk about our Philly sports teams. The third thing on our list is that Myrtle Beach is more than just Myrtle Beach. When you hear me talk in my videos about the Myrtle Beach area, what I'm referring to is an area which is also known as the Grand Strand. It's an area that covers from way up basically at the North Carolina border all the way down into Georgetown. Horry and Georgetown counties are huge, but when someone is not from the area local, they don't know where these local hotspots are. They don't know the local cities. They just know of it all as Myrtle Beach. Kind of like my wife. She's from right outside the Atlanta area in a small little town called Milton, Georgia. It's in the northern part of the Atlanta metro area, right outside of Alpharetta. But if she tells someone I'm from Milton, unless that person lives there, they have no clue where it is. So she just refers to herself as, I grew up in Atlanta, and most people understand. Now the reality is she was about an hour outside of the city and we could drive down there to do things, but that's not where she's from. The same is true here. Myrtle Beach is a great area, but there's so much more to the area than just the city of Myrtle Beach city limits. There's some awesome places where you can find homes, things to do outside. You've got North Myrtle Beach, Little River, Longs, Carolina Forest, Sockasty, Murrells Inlet, Garden City, Surfside, Pawleys Island, Litchfield. I could go on. You got out to the west, Conway. People who want to live out more towards the country, you've got Galavant's Ferry and Aner. There's so much more to our area than just the city of Myrtle Beach. So make sure you take some time and visit those different hotspots because one of those might be the area you want to live in. The fourth thing on our list is that HOAs are pretty common here in the area. What is an HOA? A homeowners association. That is something that has rules and regulations in place to keep you and the value of your home in a good place. For neighborhoods that don't have an HOA, there are a few of those in the area, and those people who say, I want to have the ability to do whatever I want and I don't want anybody telling me what I can and can't do, they're out there, but they're few and far between. And what I have found is that areas that have a homeowners association actually values increase at a much more rapid rate than those areas that don't have a homeowners association. Why is that? Because there's a level that everything in the neighborhood has to meet. If it doesn't meet this standard, you're going to run into issues. You may end up having a letter sent to you. There's a possible fine that may show up at some point. So many things that could come your way. But what those levels of standards do is help keep the overall value of the entire neighborhood up. So another thing I want to talk about is that the homeowners associations here in the Myrtle Beach area, they're very different than other parts of the country. You know, we get a lot of people who are retiring to the Myrtle Beach area and they say, well, we're looking at Myrtle Beach and we're looking at Florida and we want to see which one's going to be better. And they always ask me, well, does the HOA cover the landscape? Does it cover the lawn care? Does those things get taken care of for me? And no, they don't. Most of our homeowners associations here are very affordable. In fact, I did a whole video on that. I'll link to that here, which talks about some of the most affordable and best HOAs in the area. And for example, my neighborhood, it's $90 a month for my homeowners association. For that $90 a month, I get trash pickup, I get use of 2 amenity pools, one of which is an 800,000 gallon pool. I get use of a private gym inside the clubhouse. There's a basketball court. Did I say weekly trash pickup yet? I don't know if I did, but weekly trash pickup. And then also we get basic cable, which is about 75 to 80 channels, and now high-speed internet. So for $90 a month, it's an extremely affordable deal. Now, my wife and I, we both work full-time, so we don't have time to get out and cut the grass as much as we want. So this year, we finally broke down and hired a lawn service to take care of it. Basically, it's about $40 to $45 a week. They come, they take care of it. I don't have to do anything. It's great. So if you're thinking about finding a place here and you're saying, hey, no lawn service, I can't go there, don't give up on it just because of that. There's definitely some options out there for you. And the final thing that I want to cover in today's video is the taxes and property taxes. I've spoken about this many times before, but this is something that is super important. So I'll bring it up regularly and make sure that people understand. And that is when you're buying a home here in the Myrtle Beach area and you're going to be living here, you have to make sure that you get your taxes on your property changed over to a primary tax rate. If not, you're going to be charged at a second home tax rate or an investment rate. Now, if you're from somewhere like New Jersey, you're going to get that tax bill for $3,000 and go, wow, I'm getting a deal. But the reality is it's actually still high. So you want to make sure you take time to register your home as your primary residence. Once you get that done, you're going to take your tax bill and basically cut it in a third of what it would be. Now, if you're buying the home as a second home or as an investment property, there's not really anything you need to do. It's automatically going to be there. Now, you may say, well, why doesn't the government just automatically set them that way and know from the beginning? Well, there's a lot of factors as to why things change. Sometimes people buy the home as a primary residence and then down the road in a few years say, you know what, let's turn this into an investment now, and instead we're going to rent this house out instead of living here. So when that happens, the tax rate's going to change. Also, the government, well, they need to make money, and if they can make more off the bat and people who are lazy don't take the time to do it, they're not going to care. They're going to say, bonus, we got extra money. So make sure you take the time to do that. It's really simple to do. You can go onto horrycounty.org and fill out all the forms that you need to right then and there and have everything in place. All of the instructions is what you need to do. It's all right there. I'm not going to get into that today. The other thing, though, with taxes that I should mention is this. You are going to have to pay a vehicle tax here in the area on your vehicles. So if you're someone who really loves to have collector cars and you own 7 or 8 of them, you make sure you take that into consideration before you move here, because all of those vehicles are going to have to be transferred over to South Carolina, and you're going to pay a tax on each and one of those vehicles every single year. But overall, if you take the vehicle taxes plus your property taxes, put them together, you're still going to get off in a much better, affordable place living here on taxes than what you may be paying in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and a lot of the Northeast. And for people from California, well, everything's a steal here. Your property taxes are much less, your homes are much less, everything's just much less. And so those people, they're moving here left and right because they love being able to save money. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video talking about 5 things that you need to know before moving to Myrtle Beach. I hope you get a lot of value out of it. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, get that bell on, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.